lawmakers and the governor are close to having a budget deal. This, according to the governor himself.
Yeah, the governor called KCRA 3 political director Ashley Zavala this afternoon with some of those details. She joins us now with what's going on as these last-minute negotiations wrap up, Ashley.
Yeah, they're bringing it really down to the wire. I got off the phone with the governor within the last hour where we talked about some of the details of his final state budget as governor. He said they are close to a deal that's really in the final stages of becoming public. We don't have the details in writing yet, but this is expected to be about a $350 billion plan. The governor couldn't give me an exact dollar amount when we talked. He told me this includes some state law changes, one big one related to public schools. He said it would remove the Department of Education from being overseen by the separate and elected state superintendent of public instruction, and instead the Department of Education would be overseen by the governor's administration moving forward. Our current superintendent, Tony Thurmond, has been opposed to this idea. One sticking point in the negotiations has been the closure of a state prison, one being in Riverside County. Lawmakers want it, but the governor, that was not something he proposed. He says that's one thing that they are in the process of still working out at this hour as of this late afternoon. Now, he said the two new taxes that we have been talking about on our program are definitely part of this deal, a new tax on health plans and digital software as a service. I asked if they plan to put any money toward the more than $20 billion in unemployment debt that California owes the federal government right now from the pandemic. The governor said he tried, but no. He noted in a ballot measure that's actually going to voters, they are planning to ask them to allow money in the state's reserves rainy day account to help pay that down. I also asked about the governor's return to office order, ordering state workers to come back to the office. The governor told me he's essentially sticking to that plan. He is sticking to his guns on it. There are no plans to, prevent that from happening July 1st. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what we talked about. This was about a 15-minute conversation, again, just going through items. The budget is such a massive document that, there's still so much to go through. But I did text Assemblyman Jesse Gabriel. I trust, but want to verify what the governor is saying, that they're actually close to a deal. I'm still waiting to hear back from lawmakers on that.
Yeah, always good to just double, triple check everything, every source, even when it's the governor that calls you. What about homelessness and housing? Did he say anything about that?
Right, that's one big question here, is how much money exactly California is going to provide to cities and counties in what's known as the homelessness housing assistance prevention grants. And so that has been a sticking point because that money has been controversial in the past. Money has gone unaccounted for, billions as part of that program. And so the governor has been hesitant to really put a lot in there. We'll see ultimately what they came up with.
Yeah, billions have gone unaccounted for, even though they tried to audit it, and that didn't go very well.
And the governor is asking for more reforms, more accountability measures to ensure that all the boxes are checked so that it is accounted for. He said some of those reforms are definitely making it into this budget deal. Again, the devil is in the details. We need to see it in writing, but it was good to get an update from the governor.
All right.
We learned a lot from that homeless situation and all that money that's
yes, we did.
They tried to audit.
Thank you.